Welcome to Section 4. To enhance your learning, begin your study of the I360 Athlete Evaluation by reading Section 4 of your manual. At the completion of this section, you will understand that athlete evaluation is a vital part of Ignite performance training, athlete evaluation exposes strengths and weaknesses for program design, and athlete evaluation provides direct feedback on training outcomes. Within the Ignite performance training methodology, I360 Athlete Evaluation provides trainers, coaches, and athletes with a standardized testing system that quantifies athletic success attributes. The protocol is reliable and replicable, allowing you to repeat the testing process multiple times within a training year to continuously monitor performance gains. The I360 Max Athlete Evaluation Protocol is the most extensive and comprehensive testing system providing an in-depth measure of an athlete's performance potential. 3 major categories of testing are utilized to capture the data in a meaningful way. Tests for athleticism measure the physical components, movement tests assess sport-specific and integrative capabilities, and self-discipline questionnaires to quantify nutrition, mental focus, and communication skills. This 360-degree evaluation delivers a very detailed view into every athlete's true potential. To make every testing experience as valuable as possible, be sure that the evaluation you are using is safe and appropriate for your athlete. To get the best results, an Ignite 360 certified trainer can test a maximum of 5 athletes at a time. Larger groups require a more in-depth planning process to ensure that the tests are executed in an efficient manner. Pay close attention to the equipment needs for all evaluations to guarantee that results are meaningful and replicable. The follow-up athlete report is an excellent starting point to prioritize training outcomes and to expose previous training results. To meet the diverse needs of multiple athletes, there are 3 different evaluation systems that can be used. I360 Max is the most comprehensive testing protocol and helps competitive athletes continue to progress their Ignite performance training programs. The I360 Sport Evaluation System is the compressed version of the I360 Max evaluation and can be used for in-season testing of competitive athletes or for adult athletes who aspire to continue to excel in their sport. The I360 FIT protocol that is taught in this course is a very valuable testing system for adult athletes to measure their athletic abilities and training progression. The evaluation of integrative movement provides the Ignite 360 certified trainer with quantifiable ways to evaluate body awareness and control. Athletes perform a series of 3 different movements that use various stances, postures, and motor programs exposing key attributes that transfer to sport. The pressing squat evaluation measures squatting motor pattern, double leg utilization, and reciprocal movement. Spend a moment reviewing the athlete setup and execution cues in your manual. As you watch the pressing squat testing video to follow, use the visual images in your manual to observe the testing and scoring process.
The first I360 integrated movement exercise is the pressing squat. The purpose of this test is to evaluate your athlete's lower body bending and upper body pressing, resulting in an overhead squat position. You will see your athlete's squatting motor pattern, double leg utilization, and the ability to execute reciprocal movement in the upper and lower body. Kyle, to start this test, I'm going to get you to stand behind the line, feet shoulder width apart, toes facing forward. You're going to grasp the dowel with your hands, your elbows will be bent at 90 degrees, and your wrists will be directly below your elbows. You're going to start with a dowel on the back of your neck across your shoulders. To start the drill, you'll start a squat while simultaneously pressing the dowel overhead. You're going to try to attain max squat depth with max arm extension. You'll pause at the bottom and then return to the top. Clear?
Yep.
Okay. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Perfect. Perfect score of 10. Nice job.
The rotational T-balance evaluation measures multi-joint movement, single leg utilization, and a rotational pattern. Spend a moment reviewing the athlete setup and execution cues in your manual. As you watch the rotational T-balance testing video, use the visual images in your manual to observe the testing and scoring process.
The second I360 integrative movement exercise is the rotational T balance. The purpose of this test is to evaluate your athlete's multiplanar movement, single leg utilization, and rotational pattern. All right, Kyle, for this drill, you're going to start on one leg behind the line. Your unsupported leg will be in the air, knee will be bent at 90 degrees. Your arms will be out front, palms together. To initiate the movement, you'll hinge at the hips, bringing the chest forward, pushing the hips back. You will lengthen the unsupported leg while simultaneously opening the arms, keeping the thumbs up. Keeping the shoulders retracted and the hips level, you'll then rotate opposite shoulder towards the leg on the ground as far as you can. To obtain a score, you must return back to the start position with control. Is that clear?
Yep.
Okay, when you're ready. Good. 2, 4, 6. Nice work. Perfect score, 7.5. Good job.
The push-up opposite evaluation measures push-up motor pattern, plank posture, and cross-body patterning. Spend a moment reviewing the athlete setup and execution cues in your manual. As you watch the push-up opposite testing video to follow, use the visual images in your manual to observe the testing and scoring process.
The third I360 integrative movement exercise is the push-up opposite. The purpose of this test is to evaluate your athlete's push-up mechanics and strength combined with a cross-body arm raise. This will expose your athlete's push-up and cross-body motor patterns and their plank posture. All right, Kyle, for this drill, you're going to start in a quadruped position. Your hands will be directly under your shoulders. Your knees will be under your hips. You'll then extend your legs back into a plank position. To initiate the push-up, you will flex at the elbows, lowering your body down as low as you can go. You'll then come back up while lifting your opposite arm and opposite leg. Your leg will come straight up. Your arm will come up laterally 90 degrees at the elbow. The hips must remain level. Is that clear? Yep. Okay, let's do it. 2, 4, 6. Good, perfect score, 7.5, nice work.
The I360 Fit Athlete Evaluation is targeted for Ignite 360 certified trainers working with active adults who desire a body that works so they can engage in a more vibrant life of activity. I360 Fit evaluates what an aging body should be able to accomplish and provides the athlete with a reliable way to quantify their athletic engine. Refer to the I360 evaluation protocol overview in your manual to fully understand the scope of this evaluation system. The chart provides a summary of the evaluation focus and the equipment needs for the entire test battery. Use this chart as an ongoing reference for executing these evaluations. To ensure that every athlete has the best possible testing experience, confirm that this evaluation process is appropriate and that the athlete can safely engage in the tests. Using high-quality equipment to complete these evaluations gives validity to your results. Begin the I360 Fit evaluation by measuring athlete weight in pounds and their height in feet and inches. No shoes are to be worn for either of these measurements. The deep squat evaluation measures mobility and stability. Spend a moment reviewing the athlete setup and execution cues in your manual. As you watch the deep squat testing video to follow, use the visual images in your manual to observe the testing and scoring process. The overhead deep squat is the first test in our I360 Fit evaluation. The purpose of this test is to measure your athlete's mobility stability link, integrative movement, and overall body control and body awareness. All right, Amanda, so to set up for this test, you need to locate your feet shoulder width apart with toes facing forward. Very good. You're going to take the dowel next, you're going to locate it on top of your head. You're going to locate your wrists so they're directly over top of your elbows on both arms. Perfect. You're going to fully extend your elbows so they remain locked throughout this entire movement and the dowel remains over your head. You're going to initiate the movement with your hips by sitting back. That's good for now. You can stand up. So your goal is to get the hips slightly below parallel and then return back up to your starting posture. Is that clear?
Yes.
All right, so you can get set up here. That's it. Stick wide. Locate wrists over top of. Awesome. Fully extend your elbows. Ready? And go. All right, so Amanda, on that rep, remember you're being great on the ability to maintain your arms directly over top of your head and get your hips slightly below parallel. All right, very good, Amanda. So you've achieved a score of 10 because you were able to get hips slightly below parallel, maintaining that upper body posture. Nice work. The Athletic Ready Squat Hold evaluation measures bilateral balance and postural stability. Spend a moment reviewing the athlete's setup and execution cues in your manual. As you watch the Athletic Ready Squat Hold testing video to follow, use the visual images in your manual to observe the testing and scoring process. The Athletic Ready Squat Holds test is our second test in our I360 Fit evaluation. The purpose of this test is to measure your athlete's bilateral balance, postural stability, strength and endurance, and expose weak links in the kinetic chain. All right, Amanda, setup for this test is as follows. When a time comes, you're going to step onto the board with foot spacing shoulder width apart and toes facing forward. You're going to get down in an athletic tuck position between thighs parallel and 90 degrees flexion at the knee, about a quarter squat. I'm going to give you a countdown from 5. So I'm going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Once you hear go, that is your cue to maintain balance on the board and try and get as few touches as possible within the 30 seconds.
Okay.
Is that clear?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and step on the board. All right, Amanda. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Time. Nicely done, Amanda. Go ahead and step off the board. All right, so within the 30 seconds there, you had 2 touches of the smartboard, so you get a score of 2. Nice work. The supine plank pull evaluation measures pulling strength. Spend a moment reviewing the athlete's setup and execution cues in your manual. As you watch the supine plank pull-up testing video to follow, use the visual images in your manual to observe the testing and scoring process. The supine plank pull is our third test in our I360 Fit evaluation. The purpose of this test is to measure your athlete's supine plank endurance and pulling strength through the entire kinetic chain. All right, Amanda, so setup for this test is as follows. First, for the setup of the TRX, you want to establish so that the handles are directly underneath the anchor point, and that will line up with your wrist, your elbow, and your shoulder. So you need to straighten out the legs. Just set the shoulders so you're about an inch off the ground there. Perfect. And that is a good alignment right there. So the next part is to classify what a proper row is going to be. So once you get into that setup position, that plank position, you're going to pull so that your elbow and shoulder are in line with your torso. Perfect. And then back down. Awesome. Do one more for me. Awesome. And then back down and rest. You're going to be doing rows to the beat of a metronome. It's going to be 25 rows a minute, so it's at 50 beats a minute. So once you hear that turn on, every other beep is going to be a completed row.
Okay.
All right, you're going to go as long as you can. I will stop the test, or you will stop when you can't do anymore. If you cannot maintain plank throughout the pulls, I will stop you earlier. Sound clear?
Clear.
All right, let's give it a shot. Whenever you're ready, Amanda. Good. Keep head back. Time, nicely done. Awesome job. It's a little slow, got a little delayed. Awesome, you got a score of 12. Nice work, Amanda.